Hey guys, welcome back to Vinceville Custom. So today we are going to review this Daywalker 1/4 scale kit. We're going to go over all the pieces. I just pulled this out of the box just now because it's been really good weather lately, so it's a good time to do a lot of priming and prep work before I'm ready to do any paint work. Bear with me about doing it on the floor. The reason why I do kits on the floor in the studio is because you never know what type of stuff is flaking off, or any kind of residue, so I don't like throwing that on the photo studio. And we're just kind of giving you an idea of how I just pull stuff out of a box, put it on the floor, go through it all, and then bring it all into the garage and start prepping it. But we'll go over the kit now. Really well done. I guess it is a 3D sculpt that was printed and then casted up. At least that's what I'm thinking. I don't know who produced it, but on the bottom of the base it says who sculpted it, so we'll kind of show you that right now. And then, sorry that I'm probably going to butcher their name, but I don't know all the people who do this stuff, so I'm kind of learning as people send it to me, because just there's so many stuff out there. So at the bottom of the base says Daywalker 1/4 scale statue limited edition, 19 of 51. They actually inscribed the 19 at the bottom of the base. That's kind of a good touch. And it's sculpted by Macon Andre. Hopefully I said your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. But like I said, I don't know who produced it, so this is probably the person who produced it. I don't know the name, sorry, but really cool kit. We'll kind of go over everything. I did have a chance to pretty much look over everything, and it is really well done. I think it's one of the better casting kits out there. It's got a little bit of issues here and there. There's two major issues. One that's kind of fairly major, and another one that's kind of semi. But it's not major in the point where, oh my god, I need to get a whole nother piece because the casting's horrible. It's just that it just requires a little bit of extra time and effort onto it. But so we got the main body, we got upper torso, lower torso, we got the head, we got one set of arms, we got two set of arms, we have two sets of hands, one with the blades, one with the guns, and then we have an extra hand with the sword. We got the belt buckle and spikes, we got a bunch of magnets, we got the buckles over here, we got the top of the base, and we got the bottom of the base. So we'll kind of bring in little pieces here and there. So as far as the arms go, there's a little bit of flashing on the arms. Now when I say flashing, there's like a little bit of the line from the mold. You can see kind of right around there, hopefully in the camera. So it's just a matter of filling it with some putty, sanding it down. Same thing with this one. Doesn't really have it. It's more of a mess up around here. So that's just a matter of sanding that down, getting that smooth. Same thing with these two arms as well. A little bit of mess up surrounding here, nothing major. We got a little bit of a line going across here, and the same thing over here. Now the cool thing about this kit though is, even though you have to put it all together yourself, they actually set up with magnets. So there is holes with magnets. They do give you a set of magnets here, so you have all the magnets ready for everything. The thing about it though is, with the magnets, is you got to make sure everything is even. So you don't want to put a magnet going in one direction with this hand going here, and then with this hand you put the magnets in a different direction, because then if you want to swap out the arms and hands, they're not going in correctly. So it's just a matter of, what I'll do is I'll set up one set of arms on the upper torso with the magnets. And then what I'll do is I'll set up one set of hands with that arms. And then what I'll do is I'll follow the same pattern with the second set of arms and the magnets. And then I'll do it with the sword hand as well. So this way everything can be interchangeable. So if they want one arm raised and the other arm lower, with this arm with the sword, this arm with the blades, you could go back and forth. So that's just something you have to be wary when you do something like this. So this way, you're not just focusing on one set of arms and stuff and then you mess up on the other ones. Because once these magnets are in, they're a pain in the ass to get out. But that's pretty cool. This is like an above and beyond like a kit. Because like a lot of kits I did back in the day, it was literally just everything's in pieces and you deal with it on your own. But now a lot of people are going the extra route with adding magnets and making sure everything's interchangeable. So it's pretty cool. I kind of like that. Things are kind of evolving as time goes on. So as far as the body here, we got it goes like this, so that's pretty cool. So I might actually get one of my own stronger magnets, and I might put a stronger magnet here and here, so this way I could paint it up separate and I could give it to the client like this, and they can just magnetize it and leave it on their shelf. The reason why I'm going to do it that way is because as we all have collections, and sometimes stuff gets scraped, sometimes stuff gets broken. So if this was to ever break or get damaged, at least it's not attached and you have to go in and do all that stuff. As far as the casting stuff, the second major, nothing really serious, but it's like they had a flashing mark going across this leg, and whoever sanded it used a really rough grit sandpaper and sanded it down, so there's a little bit of detail missing with all these wrinkles. So I got to try to bring some of that back. This side, really nothing. There is a little bit of a flash line, but nothing a little light sandpaper can't take out. So that's one of the major parts is just this leg here. But it's not like end of the world, like, oh my god, I can't do the kit. It's just little just putty work and you're good. Now I think the major problem with this kit is the upper part here. So there's a lot of roughness up over here. There's a little bit of bubbling. There's a little bit of stuff over here. It's not like this is like, oh my god, it's like the worst casting ever. It's just, as this kit, this is the worst part of it. So it's a matter of taking some putty, bringing this line out that's kind of missing over here. I got to kind of bring this line out again here. A little bit of mess ups around here. So I just got to clean that up. Just get that cleaned up and that's ready to go. But you can see there's a little bit of roughness over inside here as well. And a little bit of roughness over in here. But it's like, it's not at the work where I have to mix up a bunch of aids and re-sculpt this stuff. It's just a matter of putting putty, letting it dry, and cleaning it up. We're going to see about the sword. I know at one time he said he would love to do a metal sword. I don't know if we can actually do it. But maybe what I can do is just kind of get some nice chrome paint and chrome it. There's another company out there that Archer Fine Transfers recommended me to, that it's like Alclad paint, but it's not Alclad. It's a different company, and it's way more durable once you spray it on, because Alclad rubs off if you don't seal it, but when you seal Alclad, it dulls. So we might try these different paints for these items here. So I'll have to take a look at that. One thing too is we got to be careful of these blades, that we don't break these pieces as well. So I got to kind of make sure those are in safe spots. Now, when I was messing around with the kit, I noticed when you put him onto the base, it goes this way. It's, even though they gave you keys, and you know, it's wobbly. So you can see it's not really secured. I don't know if it's just, yeah, it's just, what it is, it's not like a full key going into something. They just kind of drilled holes and stuff. So what I'm planning on doing is, I'm probably going to cut this key off here, and I'll put a rod in this foot. And then what I'm going to do is at the bottom of this base, what I'll do is I'll fill this up with Aves. I'll get myself a nice chunk of like Aves or Magic Sculpt right here. I might use some of my Durham's water putty too around the area. And what I'll do is I'll fill this in, and I'll make myself a rod, you know, my typical rod with a hollow brass rod in here. And what I'll do is I might fill this piece in too and cut off that ankle or that foot piece, or I might leave this. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't gotten that far. We'll see how things go. But also, the way they did it is, it's kind of interesting. What they did is they created a bottom of the base for you, so you can do whatever you need to do in here, and then you can just attach this on. Now, the only problem with it is I kept turning it, and even though they mark it, it still doesn't line up correctly. But that's just a matter of just kind of drumming out the hole a little bit better, and then just gluing it in at the end. But that's kind of interesting. It's kind of a new take on the base. But other than that, I mean, I think it's a really well done kit. It's sculpted phenomenally. I mean, the head's beautiful. The head is absolutely beautiful. So you pretty much see it looks like Wesley Snipes. They even got all the tattooing on the back of the head. Now there's a little bit of flashing here. There's a little bit of flashing over here, but that's nothing really serious. I just got to clean out the key a little bit more to get into the body. But you know, they have all these holes for the magnets. Now we do have the goggles. So I'm not sure if the goggles are going to be attached at the end. I want to see what the client says, but I think we have to attach them. I think it's just a matter of painting them up and wrapping them around the head and then gluing them on. I don't think we can make them removable. I'm not really sure. I'll have to see how that works out. But really great. I mean, everything's there. Everything's really, really clean. Just little stuff of putty work. Like I said, the weather's getting really nice out, so it's a great time to pull out some of these kits. Do some priming work, do some prep work, because at least once, you know, the hot weather hits, I can at least sometimes be inside on the hot days and do a lot of painting in the AC, whereas now it's when you get really too hot out and then you try to prime stuff, sometimes the primer dries before it hits the statue, and you know, but right now things are really well, so we're going to try to get at least ahead of the game on this. So hopefully in another month or two this will be done. We'll see how things go. And there you go. There's a 1/4 Daywalker kit. Thanks for watching. I'll probably have a lot of fun putting this together, and look for the final video in a month or two.